You are taking dozens of calls, but you can't remember what everyone said. And most community builders are guessing which leads to follow up again and forgetting the pain points and just drowning in a scattered CRM, even if maybe they don't even have a CRM. So what if an AI agent tracked all the calls for you so you never forget what you said? You spot the patterns across all conversations and you know exactly who is ready to convert and why. And this is kind of like a ranger like Han Solo with the help of C-3PO. So he is able to do his job even better, and you can utilize C-3PO for your calls as well. So hey there, I'm Luke. And I worked in an ad tech startup taking like hundreds calls per day. And this was like one of my records where I had like over 200 sales activities. And in the last year, I recorded over 300 calls in Fathom. And with the Notion transcription, I have even more. So this is roughly 1,500 activities. Most of the ones with, or like all of the ones with the flame are a call in one form or another. Sometimes I'm also tracking just outreach, so that doesn't get a flame. And this is the third video where we're going to talk about the power of Notion agents. Last time we were talking about the marketing agent. Today we're taking a deep dive into sales. And this is for every educational community builder who's networking and wants to get paid to change the world. And this is specifically relevant for anyone taking networking calls, discovery calls, or sales calls. And you don't have to be technical for that. You just need Notion and like around 20 minutes to set this up, because I'm going to give you everything that I have here in this video. And we're going to specifically cover the identity of what it looks like to go through this whole conversion process. I'm going to share a bit of the databases, my CRM, the way that I track these different calls, as well as an example of the agent that I'm using. So we get to ask the agent a bit of questions. First, I want to cover the identity. And I like to think of Han Solo as the identity because he's a smuggler, but another word for that is just a ranger who scouts the different territory, just looking for people who need help or who need to have things smuggled. They also need help, right? So a ranger observes, they qualify, they offer support to the right people at the right time. And that's why they get to charge premium prices. And the primary activities for them is like chatting, doing discovery, and doing sales calls. What does this look like in practice? That's what I have the databases for. So here I filtered for all of the rangers that are in my database, and I have a bit of a description and like the level based on like how many activities they've done. So here are some of the most dominant rangers on School. We have more of them. And these are generally the people that I have interacted with. And you see, not all of them I have actually interacted with. So this is like how I see the CRM. And this is one of the best friends of every ranger, because we need to know the people that we're talking to. And these are the people that we are connecting different conversations with. So this is what we have here in Convert. If I'm going to look at some of the two-flame activities, we currently have this networking game, which I am transcribing. And here we have all of the attendees. So I'm tracking who is attending the call. And this allows me to see who is engaged, who is active, who may need some help. And I connect their call to like all of their calls together. So here I had a call with David, with Mark, with Brittany. And I even track events. So this was a networking event in Barcelona that like two friends of mine, Tibor included, went to and connected to a new guy who is actually pretty big on YouTube, and he's creating virtual reality content, which is like, fuck yeah, I've always wanted to have a community about virtual reality. So that was a great connection. And this is how I think about this. And if we take a look at my week, and I think we can zoom in here a little bit. Yeah, that's better, right? So this is like how my week looks like. I essentially rank them from like more flames to fewer flames, and to just like outreach. So I also see what my clients are doing. So I see Joey is doing warm and cold outreach here. And this is kind of like how you can structure the database from your CRM to the activities that you generally do and you want to have like organized to the things that you do on a weekly basis. So what does the AI agent actually do? Because we are currently transcribing all of these calls. So we are currently in the networking call and you can see the transcription happening here in the notes. So I can go here to transcript and I see it is actually live transcribing all of that as I speak it, which is super cool. And I have this for all of the calls in my database. So for my agent, I was actually asking Tibor, like, what are 3 questions that you would like to ask my agent? So we're going to use these as an example and see what my agent comes up with. We're going to start a new chat here. And I'm going to ask, what are the 3 most common bottlenecks? Maybe connect the context, because we want to give the context on the convert database. So it knows like, this is what I'm going through and what I'm reading. And we are searching through this now. It kind of is thinking now. It knows who I am because like I set up previous instructions, searching for the most common bottleneck, getting tons of results and it kind of explaining it to himself. I really like how it just shows what it does. And then looking at your workspace, I found references to common bottlenecks across your sales conversion and client work. Let me pull up some specific examples to give you clearest answers. Oh, that is like, look at that. So I actually gave the agent the personality of Jarvis from Iron Man. So that's why he kind of speaks in a little bit more formal way, because I find this really cool. Here, based on your workspace client conversations, here are 3 most common bottlenecks. Attractions. Not enough people know about the offer. While I read through this, I already wanted to answer this question. So now it's going to answer this while we get to go over the answer that it has given us above. Working in the business versus on it. So getting bottlenecked by delivery and operations, too much time on sales calls instead of leverage activities, manual process, eating up hours, no documented systems or delegation. And these are all backed up by conversations that I had with people. So here it like references something that Loney said, here's something that Jamie said, here's something that Nick said. And this question would probably have been more effective if I just said like, hey, in the last month, for example. So we're going to do this for the last question. Was my most frequent mistake in the sales process. So let's see what it comes up with this. It's still thinking. So we can already formulate the next question. Now answer this, but only look at the calls from last month. I want to be more specific because I also have client calls. So I'm going to link the convert calls. So these are people that are not yet paying me. And I'm just like generally building trust. While it is answering this, we can go through this. And here are the answer for the question of what is my unfair advantage that other people point out. So sometimes we don't really see our own strengths and we need someone else to point them out. And like I actually asked a few people about this and that's how I landed on networking. So let's see if the agent agrees with that. So your unfair advantage is system architecture for communities. Okay. Repeatedly mentioned 3 interconnected strengths: systems thinking, gamification mastery, and Notion backend architecture. That's why we're doing so much Notion content, by the way, because these are like my strengths. So interesting, it didn't cover networking. The synthesis, you don't just consult, you architect ecosystems. I really like this. Like this resonates, yes. While others teach or do piece. What is this word? Piecemeal fixes. You built the entire operating system for community builders. Interesting. Okay. Multiple calls show you're coming to your specifically because they need someone who can see the big picture and execute the technical details. Combination of strategic vision, hands-on implementation is rare. The meta pattern, you're essentially functioning as the CTO for community creators. I haven't thought of myself in this way. Maybe I should present myself to do that because like it kind of resonates. So now to the new question of what is my biggest mistake. So looking at your convert calls from October, I analyzed the AI summaries to identify recurring sales process challenges. Most frequent mistakes, poor lead qualification. So pattern shows up repeatedly throughout October. You mentioned 60% of book calls are being canceled due to qualification issues. That's not true. Where did it get from? Oh, okay. I think I was talking about a synthesizer here. So now I can see I was talking with Danny about this. It's like, oh yeah, this was like booked calls from synthesizer. We do cancel 60% of them. So as you can see, it's not perfect in that sense. Multiple calls logged as value status, networking rather than actual sales conversion. That is true. Like I probably give way too much value, and I should like try to sell people. But like I'm a wizard. I'm not a ranger. And as a wizard, I just want to solve problems. So I'm less like Han Solo, and I'm more like Luke, uh, who just like wants to help people. So time spent with people facing financial constraints or who aren't ready, willing, and able. Yes, that's true. But like, I want to help. So several calls with prospects still in exploration phase rather than decision phase. Yeah, that's also true. Nice. That's actually really valuable. So what's happening? You're getting on calls with people before confirming they have the problem you solve, the budget, the authority, the timeline urgency. That is very true. That's why I kind of need someone who is in sales and who can help me with the appointment setting, which is something that Sophia is doing or is training to do and is currently doing with Giselle. And she's absolutely crushing it there. So just a side note, the cost, the mistake compounds because every unqualified lead takes time. I find this super valuable to just go through and ask questions that are actually backed up by data. Even though I don't see myself as a ranger, I can have the AI agent supporting me, understanding what it takes to get the results, and then help me execute that. And then look into the database to be like, oh, this is what you have to do this week. These are the people that you have to connect to. So this is just like a specific view where I'm showing different people. But like I can also say, only show me the people that I interacted with the last 30 days or that have these specific requirements. So that's the beauty of databases in Notion. And I can ask my AI agent, like, hey, who should I reach out to? Who is currently warm? Who is someone that I can help? And if we have like over 150 calls a week, this is very hard for us to decide. And that's why having an agent can really make the real difference and allow us to just be more effective at what we're doing. Because in business, we're wearing all of these different hats. And if we focus on the thing that we're really good at and then let the agent help us with the other things, then I think we will all thrive together.